Welcome everybody to Tableau tutorial series. In this part 1 of the Tableau tutorial series, we are going to learn how to build visualization using Tableau. In this particular series, we are going to build the visualization in Tableau, and we are going to learn how we can do that from scratch. How to build visualization using Tableau. First and foremost, in order to build a visualization using Tableau, the first thing you need to do, you need to understand your data. When you understand the data, then you know what type of visualization you want to build. What do I mean? Once you understand your data, you know what kind of information you want to extract from the data. You know what type of information you want to show people about the data. Whatever is a field of study, whatever your career, Tableau is very, very important to you. You can use that for visualization, especially if you're in the marketing area, or are you into real estate? Let's assume a marketer. You want to market your product to people, to your customers, your clients, or you want to introduce the product to people. Even to the telecommunication industry, you want to introduce a particular product to people. You want people to know and aware about a particular technology that has been introduced. Even the iPhone, Tableau is good for every industry and every career. You have to extract information. You have to show the people what information you are trying to pass through them in a pictorial form. Just as has been said, a picture worth more than 1,000 words. You can easily convince people with a picture. Once you pass the information to them in the pictorial form, people will be able to see what you are trying to say. People will be able to understand it better. You'll be able to grab the information, and you will easily be able to convince people that making use of figures or data, as we can see here. Now, in this particular training, I'm going to be using this data. Now, we can see this data. This data is shooting in US. This is a shooting in US. In other words, it's gun violence in US. Now, this is a situation of gun violence in US, and the question is, should US curb their gun violence? Should US curb or control, introduce policy that will reduce the rate at which people have access to guns in US? And also Nigeria, if Nigeria were thinking about introducing a law to give many people access to the use of gun. So we can learn from other countries, we can learn from US to see the effect of such policy, and or to see the gun violence in US, and how, if Nigeria decides to introduce such policy tomorrow, how we can go about it. At the end of the day, you can make a decision about it. But yeah, in this particular training, we just want to show about the gun violence in US and leave you to make your judgment. Now, this is the data. Now, this is the full data, this particular data, and this is the full data. We can see the various cases. We can see the location where these cases took place. We can see the year that each of these cases took place, and we can also see the summary of the case. We can see fatality, that is the extent of the injury. We can see the injured. We can see the total victim. We can see the location where it actually occurred. We can see the age of the victim, and lot about it. We can see the type of weapon that was used. We can see the race that was involved in each of these gun violence. We can look at the gender and so much more in this particular data. So the first thing is to get an understanding of the contention of the data. This is the day each event took place, and this is the age group the shooter belongs to, and also the decade it occurs and the name of the shooter, and we have a description and the current age of each of the shooter in this incident of gun violence in the US. Also, in this particular tutorial, we are going to look at the COVID-19 situation. We are going to look at the global situation of COVID-19. We are going to look at, for in each country, what was the situation of COVID-19, and in the various parts of the country. We are also going to look at in region. When we look at, we want to take it a region. Let's see which region is mostly affected by the COVID-19 infection during the period of the coronavirus. Now, this also is the data of COVID-19, the data of COVID-19, and we're going to look at this particular cases in this tutorial. So, first and foremost, having explained the data, you understand the data, you know the type of information you are going to extract from the data. So, the next thing you need to do, you have to know what type of information you want to extract from the data, just as I said earlier on. You know the type of information you want to extract from the data. Having done that, then you have to know some certain things. Now, this is a Tableau. I've opened the Tableau. First and foremost, in order for you to download the Tableau public, you have to go to your. You have to go online. You have to go online. When you get online, you download the Tableau public. So I'm going to use the public version in this particular training. You can see Tableau public. That is what I'm using. So this is the public version of Tableau. You can simply go online, you Google it, and click on Tableau public, and you can download the link. So now those are my details. The next thing I'm going to do, here is your Tableau, and this is the left panel, and these are the fields, and these are the menu we have. There's a file menu where you can open a new Tableau. You can open and get an existing Tableau and load an existing Tableau. This open a Tableau public. This is hide the start page. And this is the data, and this is the help in case you run into any problem while using Tableau. You can simply click on that. So, and this is the icon for Tableau. You can minimize, maximize, restore, and the rest of it. Now, in this particular left panel of Tableau, we have a lot of things where we can connect to Tableau. You can connect to Tableau from various sources. You can connect from Microsoft Excel if your file is in Microsoft Excel. If it's a text file, if it's a Microsoft Access, it's a JSON file, if it's a PDF, if it's a spatial file, it's a statistical file. That is from eViews and other statistical software. Also, if you have connected from your data, and this is more, where you have more where you can connect to Tableau from other sources. So you can see all that there. So let's so having said all that, now let's quickly go on to load our data into our Tableau without wasting much time. And I'm going to locate where my data is in my PC. Okay, I'm simply going to locate where my data is. Now, so this is my data. So you load the data into Tableau. Now this is one data. I clicked on one, but all the data are inside. All the data are inside the folder, but I click on one. So let's wait for Tableau to load the data into the Tableau website, into the Tableau program, and the data is still loading. Now you can see my worksheet. Okay. Now you can see this is the source data. You can see a tab here. This is the source data. This is sheet 1, and this is new worksheet. This is a dashboard, and the new story. Okay, I've gotten one data into that. My Tableau. Let's add another. Since my file is an Excel file, you can see that is the reason I clicked on Microsoft Excel. So I'm loading the second data into Tableau. Now I've loaded the second data into Tableau. Okay. Now before I load the third data into Tableau, okay, let me load the third data into Tableau. Now we go to Microsoft Excel, that's an Excel file, and we pick that's for COVID-19. That is from who website? That was a mistake. That should be WHO. Now the next thing, the first thing you're going to do, you're on this page, you're going to create a connection between your data. I don't want to use ordinary data step. Now you can see there's US and US1. Let me simply go back to my data. Now you can see I want to connect the two data together. Now this is the date. I have a date here, I have a year here. So I have here and I have this, and this is the other data. Though the data is one, I divided the data into, I have another year, I have year here. So I have here and I have here in the other data. So I'm going to connect the data using the year. This is the first sheet and you can see the year. Okay, let me load the second sheet, that is this. You click and you grab that. Let's go to Isaac spreadsheet. Now this is the first data. We have a sheet 1, we have a sheet 2 on the same data, on the same worksheet. Then let's go to Microsoft Excel. This is where I have both data. Really need to put that. Let's delete this off. Let's delete that off. We don't really need that. So now we only have this in sheet 1. Sheet 1, and we come to this place. We have the second worksheet in sheet 2. So I'm going to join the two together. This is another worksheet. US shooting in US 2, and this is the first worksheet shooting in US 1. Okay, now this is a data source. Let's pick it all over again. There's the first one. Okay, then let's load the second data source, and let's load the third data source. Okay, now having loaded the three data source, let's see. Let's click on this. Excuse me. Okay. Now let's check our data. Let's try to check the data first. Okay. Okay, now let's go on to check sheet 1. Let's pop it here. Let's check if we actually loaded our data. Okay, that is sheet 1. Okay, let's, depending on the Tableau public you are using, at times there's some tablets over here you can simply drag and drop. Okay, let's click here to remove. Since we are dragging and dropping, it's not going on. Okay, let's drag and drop here. Okay, now we can see the two data. You can see this start from year, quarter, half, month name. Okay, that's the second data. This remove this. So this is the first data. So we can see the first data. Okay, here's the first data. Now I'm going to drag the second data depending on the type of Tableau public you're using. There's some Tableau public you simply convert to union here. You can create a link. You can create a link. Here you can see. Now I have this. You can simply create a link and you add it together and you click on OK. Okay, click apply, click OK, depending on the type of the Tableau you are using. So okay, now so let's remove this and let's start all over again. So depending on the type of Tableau you are using, the type of Tableau public you are using, so let's quickly do what we want to do. Then click on this and let's link it together. Now I've linked both together. I've established a relationship together. Now when you come down to this part of the Tableau environment, you look at the year. You see Tableau has done that for me automatically. Tableau saw the year in this particular worksheet 2, and then in this particular worksheet Tableau saw the year. So Tableau make use of the column name and to form the joint. So Tableau joined the two tables together. So you can see now whatever is in this sheet 1, every data in this sheet 1, every data in this sheet 1 that is also in sheet 2. In sheet 2, those are the data Tableau is going to use. So when we are going to create our visualization, those are the data Tableau is going to do. You can see the number of fields we have here. You can see sheet 1, you can see sheet 2, sorry. We have a 10 fields and number of rows. So you can see the relationship 1 to 2. So you can see the table, sheet 2. When click on sheet 1, it loads sheet 1. So now let's start. Now the next thing we are going to do, we are going to come down to this part and say sheet 1. Click on that sheet 1. When we click on that sheet 1, then we can start our visualization. Now, in this particular instance, we see this is the left panel. We're going to do a couple of things here. Now, so the first visualization we're going to create a visualization. We're going to talk about we're going to show you visualization of the rate of violence, of gun violence in US, and the total number of victims for each gun violence. So let us see how serious the case is, how serious it is that the case that the law regarding the law regulating gun, the law regulating access to gun needs to be very, very strict or tightened in US. Also, if Nigeria is considering adopting such law in the future, that such law should be very, very strict, that access to gun should be made tighter. So now what we are going to do now, we are going to get the now let's see the year. Let's get the year. Now we know this is the table. This is the first table. This is the first table. That's the first table. And we can see the column in the first table. This is the second table. I'll make it sheets. That's the second table. I'll make it sheets. So we can expand it. Okay. So we are going to get the year now. I'm going to click on here. I click on here and I drag and drop here. So once I drag and drop there, Tableau is going to put it there. Or I can simply drag and drop on this field. That is, I want it to be along the row. So whichever way you want it to be, you drag and drop. But I want that to be along the column. So I drag and drop along the column, or I drag and drop here, and Tableau will pop up, bring up that. You can also drag and drop in between here. I don't want to drop it there, I want to drop it here. So, and that is that. So now let's look at the total number of victims in each case, in each gun violence case in the US. The victim, now we know we have the fatality, which talked about the rates, how serious is the injury, and we have the cases, that's the injured cases, and there is the total number of victims. Total number of victims is an addition of the fatality and the injured. That's how fatal the incident is, and those that were injured have minor injury. Now this is the total victory. Now you can see, now this particular panel I have various visualization, and we can see that this is a line chart. You can decide to click on any of these that are active. Now you can see the various years. Now this tells me the various years that gun violence in US actually occurred. Now we can see from the year 2003, we can see from the year 1998, from year 1982, 1984, we can see the total number of victims there, and you can see this. You can see the year 1986. So if I want to to bring it 1 year here, so let's bring that back. We already had the labels, so these are the years. Okay, now I click on that. Now you can see all the years. Now all the years that we have. So this shows all the year where there is a cases of gun violence in US. So we can simply see the year, all the year here, that cases of gun violence in US. Also, we can also create this on another worksheet. Click on that. Then now we can still do the same thing similar to here. We'll bring the year in column, and the victim, now this is a line chart, so I want the line chart. Let's go to the previous one. We can simply make this previous one, instead of looking at these two, why don't we look at a case of how fatal it was? Okay. So let's take this back to column, and let's get the fatality. Now you see this type of chart doesn't really give us, so let's come back to that. So these are the various years it was more fatal. So let's at each gun incident in US, the rate of the injury was very, very serious. So let's bring the year again the way we did it all the time, and we are going to pick label. I'm going to get the label, and I'm going to click on this. So we can see the year whereby there was gun violence, and there was serious injury at each time of the gun violence. Then in this particular case, we can have the line chart showing us the trend in gun violence in US. You can see from the year 1982, it was gradually increasing, that the gun violence in US was actually increasing. Let's click on this. Now you can see in 2017, there was the rate of gun violence in US was so high in US that there was a debate about the control of the use of gun in US. That was a period where in US they were actually debating about gun control in US, and after that it declined. There was a decline in that. So we can also do one or two things here, and that's the rate of fatality. So the injured, so we can come here, place it there, we can get the label. Now we can see the label, so we can see the number of injury, the number of victims, or number of those that were injured. Okay, let me remove this. I want to use the victim. The victim. Okay, yeah. So now let me use the label now. So we can see those that were victim of gun violence, and we can see the number of those people that were victim at each point in time. So that is that. If we can do a number of things here. So that is that. So we can now simply label this, and we call that. Let's double click on that. We call that. We give it a name. We can say the victim of gun violence. Okay. So that's victim per US number. So we can click on this and we bold that. This you want to decide to shade. We can use a color, but let's leave it black. Black is better. And let's apply that. So we can still come here and also name this. This is the fatality, how serious the injury is in each case. Okay, we can do similar thing here. We can bold, and we can even change the font. If you feel like changing the font, you can do that. Change the font, and you click on OK. Okay, now we've done that. We've gotten our two visualization. Now the next thing we're going to create another visualization. You can see here, new worksheet. You click on that. New worksheet. Now this time we are going to look at the location where each gun violence occurred in US. What state is gun violence actually occurred in US? So we are going to look at that. But in this particular case, we are going to look at the location we are going to get the map. So let's click on this. We are going to use one of this map. And so let's use the longitude and the latitude. Let's place the location here. Now you can see each location where the gun violence took place in the US. You can see each location. What we're going to do now, that's the location. That's the state in the US where there's gun violence took place. And we can now see, we can filter it by where did it occur. Did it occur in a school, or in an airport, or a military base, or in a church, in a religious center, or in a workplace? So let's click on, we want to see all. Okay. Now, having done that, then we'll see this. Now that gives us the location where each occurs. Now you can see that Now this tells us in this particular state it occurs here in a workplace. In this particular state it occurs or in other places. Those occurs in other places. You can see those occurs in other places. That's where it's not a workplace, not a religious center. And also most of the violence that took place occur in workplaces. You can see some workplaces, most of them occur. Then we can still decide to remove this label of it. So we can see where it occurs. Now where each of the gun violence occurs, but this will be better or make use of the label where each of these gun violence occurs. So we can also simply name that state and location. Gun violence by state and location. So we can really see if most of the gun violence occur in the religious center, most of the gun violence occur in the workplace. We can easily they can easily make the law regarding bringing gun to workplaces to be very, very strict, or they could easily bound the bringing of gun or taking of gun to workplaces. That will be easily bound, because if there is more cases of that, also if Nigeria also is trying to adopt that, Nigeria will see, okay, taking gun to workplaces is not a good idea, such will outrightly be bound. So we got that. We can also create another visualization. So we have this location. Now this was similar to what we did. Now this is similar to what we did here, but in this particular case, all what we did, we're only bringing it out. We bring out it was workplace, but in this particular case, the visualization is different. We have each of this, and we have where it occurs, the state it occurs, and workplace. So the next thing we have now is we can now bring this location here. Whichever way you want to do the visualization, you can do that. So now you can now see, okay, in this particular state, it occurs in other places. Other places could be in a shop, could be in a house. Now in this particular case, you can see the workplaces. Once that occurs in the workplaces, we can easily see that. So you can decide to do the visualization this way, that we have here gun violence by state and location. So you can come here and do similar thing here. Simply copy and paste. So gun violence by state and location. It all depends on how you want the visualization to be. So those are two similar visualizations. So let's go to another visualization. Let's look at the case of the type of gun weapon that was used in this gun violence. What type of gun weapon that was usually used by the perpetrators of this gun violence? So let's see the type of weapon that are always used in this type of situation. So if they want to regulate the use of gun, they want to place stricter regulation on the use of gun, so such type of gun, the regulation concerning such kind of gun will be made stricter. I always like dropping it in this column. I told you you can drop it here. So the regulation concerning the use of those type of gun will be stricter. Now you can see the type of two automatic rifles. We have different types: a firearm, assault rifle, and the rest of them. Now the question we are going to ask, were this gun gotten legally? If it was not gotten legally, then that means there needs to be a stricter regulation concerning those about the sales of guns. So, where this gun obtained legally, we can see that here the type of weapon that was used and where this weapon obtained legally. Now it says unknown, yes. Now, in many cases that this violence occurred, now most of the guns were gotten legally. So that means there needs to be a regulation on the use of gun. And those if Nigeria also want to adopt in the future, we have to put a tighter regulation concerning the use of gun. Okay, now let's quickly change that. Let's quickly change that. So the weapon used, type of weapon used over here. We've gotten that, and so that's the type of weapon used. So we can easily see that type of weapon used. So we can double click that, violence by weapon. Okay, so we can simply do this and we click on OK. Now that's how many visualization. That's the fifth visualization we've done in. But we can also do another visualization in Tableau. There are a lot of analysis we can do on this type, a lot of information you can extract to support your argument, to convince your listener concerning the use of gun violence in US or in any state in the world, whether you advise, you support or not. So you have a lot of, you can use the data to support your argument, but when you bring the data in pictorial form, it's easily seen. Now let's look at gun violence by race. Now most of this gun violence in the US, was it the perpetrator, the black man or the white man or any other race in the US? So let's go back to the location where this gun violence took place. Let's use the location that it actually occurred. So let's use the location. Let's use the location where it actually occurred. Okay, in this particular case we are okay. Now let's do it this way. Now, since we've known the location where it occurs, let's rather focus on the race. The race. Let's make that column. Now we can see the different race. Okay. Now let's see the age group. The age group. Okay, that is the age of the shooter. Let's see the age group. Okay, we can see the various and we can see the age group. Now we can see the age group that is more. Can you see this particular age group is more early adulthood and middle adulthood. So if we want to control the use of gun violence, this particular group of people, more focus should be focused on them by making it difficult for this particular age group to have access to gun. You can also decide to make this age and then do it this way. Whichever way you want to do it, you can see the various ways and you can see the gun. Like this particular, we have node here. All what you need to do, let's filter that which age group we have. Non-age group, you can place that in the filter, place that in the filter, and you remove this, we don't need that, and click OK. So that's remove the node there off from it. But I don't want to do it. Let me leave it the way I did it. I only wanted to show you something in the system. So let's leave it this way. We have the various age group and we have the various age group and we have the race that were actually involved. Now you can see the Asian are more involved. We can see the black also involved, the Latino are involved, and the white are involved. So these three races are actually those that are actually involved in gun violence in the US. So the perpetrator are either the white, a black, or Asian, but more of black, Latino, and white. Why? Because some situations are not certain. They could not determine whether these people are either white, black, or Latino, or either Asian. So now we can see what else again we can do? We can also see those people that actually perpetrated this gun violence, they have any history of health problem, mental health problem. That is prior signs of mental health issue. So we can also include that here, put it along the road. So now let's look at it. This is the age group. Okay, this is the age group. We are going to do with that. So let's get this age group. Where is the age group? Put it in this filter. I want to give it this, so I want to filter by that. So now we can see the age group, early adulthood. Is there any prior signs of mental health issue? No. We can see the one of no. We can see the situational many times the call. We can see when it was unclear whether this person had any prior health issue. We can see how it involved. We can see one of yes. Now the one of middle age and those with health issue. We can see that for middle age and old age, and we can see that of teenage. Those that have health issues, that it was as a result of the health issue that actually caused this. So do you want to put the location into it, and let's see to have a clearer picture. Now we look at for each country, for each state in US that gun violence occurred. Now the age group whereby these guns that are actually the perpetrator, the age group whereby the perpetrator falls into. We can see the age group the perpetrator falls into. Now we can now see, do they have any history of health issue? Now you can see that of early adulthood for almost all the states. You can see that is yes, except from few states that it's not yes. So we can check that. Now remember, we are talking about the location. So we can bring in the location here, and we get this. I think this data, this one is better. I think this is actually better. So we can leave it this way, or we come to this point and we bring the colors. So I think this is white colorful. So we can simply name this by saying gun violence, US gun violence by age group, race, and location. So US gun violence by age group, by race, or let's say by race, age group, let's say by race, age group, location, and history of health issue. So you can simply press Ctrl A to copy, and we put that. Okay. So I think this is very, very good. This is better this way. Then now we can move ahead and we can see if we can do one more, or we stop there. I think with all this you should be able to know how to do visualization in Tableau, how to use Tableau to do visualization. So I'm also going to show you how to do visualization. I'm also going to show you how to do visualization in in Power BI. So watch out for my video on that. So let's look at the COVID-19 situation. This is a new worksheet. Let's see the case of COVID-19 situation. Since we have the data here for COVID-19, did we? Okay, we have there. Yeah, now because we didn't link that data, because we have nothing to link the data with. So let's go back to our data source. We have this COVID-19 situation here. I don't want to link this data because we have nothing to link this data with. It can't link. So we have nothing to link this data with. No? There's nothing to link this particular data with. So we can't link this data. So data preview is not available because there's no how we can link this data. So, but we can actually make use of them. Let's look at data sets and let's see what we can do. Let's go to our COVID-19 data. Okay, we don't have, there's nothing actually we can use to link the data, except we want to use this particular one, whereby we have the dates here to link the data. And I don't want to use that. So let's see what we can do to that. I think we remove the link and let's click this data. There's no way we can create this connection because there's nothing we can use to link this data together. So whenever I want to use a table in Tableau, there must be a column in those tables that you can use to link the two data. Now you can see this particular table here. I have the year in this particular table shooting in US 1, and also you can see the second worksheet. We have a second table. We have the year. So I make use of this year to link those two tables together. Make use of this year to link those two tables together. So that's what I used in linking the two tables together. So that's what I used in linking the two tables together. So if your table are not connected and not linked, you can use those tables in Tableau. But there is a way I want to manipulate this particular table because I want to talk on this COVID-19 situation, because this actually put the world into turmoil during the period. Everyone went into hiding, even the high and the mighty, those that thought they are very, very powerful. Just a little virus drove everyone indoor. Those countries that thought they are very, very powerful, those people that thought they are very, very powerful, they ran away just for a single virus. This is to show how mighty God is. So, that to tell you that men should fear God. So, now let's look at it. Now you can see this particular column. In this particular table, I have the name here. And in this particular table here, I have the name here. But the names are not the same. You can see the names are not the same. But for the fact that that particular column that represents the name, or that particular column that represents the column header, Tableau is going to recognize, because the word name appears here and the word name appears here. The word names appear here and the word name appears here. Tableau is going to use that to join the table together. So let's just use that to manipulate this and trick Tableau. So we can actually trick Tableau. We're going to trick Tableau in bringing up that table, populating the table into this particular table, because that's not actually the right thing to do. The right thing to do is that all your the table must be linked together with an identified column. So now we can see our data here. I just want to make use of this data. That is the reason I put that up. So let's see. Let's go to sheet 7. Let me see if that will come up. Let me see if it comes up fine. Now, yes, that means we've succeeded in tricking Tableau. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to bring up our data here. We're going to bring up our data. So we are going to look at the number of cases. We're going to look at the number of cases and the region where these cases occurred. Let's look at the region where these cases occurred. Let us drop there. Now we can see the one that occurred in Africa. We can see the number of cases that occurred in America. We can see the number of cases that occurred in Europe. So now let's see the cases per thousands. Cases cumulative per thousand. Let's see the cases cumulative per thousand. Let's drop that here. Now we can see. Now in this node, remember cases cumulative per thousand. We can drop it here. Let's go to this. Let's go to measure. Let's use instead of the sum. Let's try the count. Okay. Okay, then let's go bring the region here and let's remove the node. Click on OK. Now you can see in Africa, you can see the case cumulative per thousand that the coronavirus actually in Africa. Okay, let's bring the cases cumulative per thousand here and let's bring the label. Now you can see that in parts of Africa, the coronavirus actually eats most country in Africa. But we have the highest in Europe. Coronavirus actually eats most states in Europe. We have a number of cases up to the average, the number of cases we have up to 276,390,270 cases in Europe, while followed by Eastern Mediterranean, we have 192,775,775,054. Then we followed by African countries. African countries are also hit by this coronavirus, but we have about 9,530,267 cases we have in that. So those were the cumulative number of cases, and we have the cumulative total per 1,000 population. Now you can see we have the different chart there, total number of population there. Okay. Okay, so total number of population, let's stop there. So now we can look at the region. So we can simply name this coronavirus case per region. Or COVID-19, that's COVID-19. We have the COVID-19 cases per region. Okay, we can simply apply. Okay, before we do that, let's do this. Then let's apply and let's close. Okay, let's quickly do that and let's wrap up this. Then we do our dashboard. Let's look at the region. Let's look at the country. So let's go to the name. So let's pick the name. Let's quickly place that here. That's the name we can see for each country. So remember this name. Remember we joined this table and I joined it with that of the US gun violence. So there's the name for the US gun violence. We are dealing with that for COVID-19. So this is the name we have to use. Let's make use of this name. Let's drop it in the column. So we can see the various states and we can see cumulative of new case reported. And the new reported cases. Okay, now let's bring that dimension. So we can see states whereby we have all newly reported cases. And we can decide to sort of making that let's check our data. Okay, newly reported cases. In 7 days, within 24 hours. So let's see the one we reported in the last 24 hours. Okay, that was 0. Cases reported in the last 24 hours is 0. So this is not giving us what we actually needed. So let's see cases reported in the last 7 days. Or the last 7 days per 1,000 of the population. So let's make that the count. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, what we do, let's look at number of deaths, the cumulative number of deaths that took place during the coronavirus. This is the cumulative number of deaths that took place. Now you can see that. You can see the cumulative number of deaths that took place in this coronavirus period. You can see the cumulative number of deaths. You can see the cumulative number of deaths that took place during the coronavirus period. Let's make it black. That's the cumulative number of deaths that took place during the coronavirus period. We can also do one or two things here. Cumulative number of deaths. Okay, let's just leave it at it. This is the cumulative number of deaths that took place. Also, we can look at cumulative number of deaths that took place per thousands of the population. So, now cumulative number of deaths that occur per thousand of the population. So we have some there. Okay, cumulative number of data took place per thousand of the population. So we have that there. So what we do, we cannot make this chart see what time it gives to us. So we are not going by that. So let's leave it this way. This gives us a better result. I want to see the cumulative number of the per thousand of the population. We simply do this, and we have the name here. Remember, we took this name and cumulative number of deaths that occur per thousand of the population. We use it there. So that gives us the cumulative number of deaths per thousand of the population. Per 100,000 of the population. So we can also have cumulative number of deaths. Control C to copy. Well, let's simply quickly name that cumulative number of deaths. So we have this. So now we can do a number of things here. Okay, let's leave that there. So now let's bring us to that almost the end of it. You can see this is the next new worksheet. You can see this is the dashboard and this is the story. So let's click on this here to enlarge this the dashboard. Because the dashboard, we could enlarge this dashboard automatically here. I'm trying to bring up that. Okay, it's not popping up. We should have a place whereby we can automatically bring the dashboard up. Okay, now okay, let's bring our chart here. Okay, I want to enlarge this. Let's see. Or what we need. So let's delete this dashboard because it's too small. Let's get another dashboard. Now you can see this in your story. You can see this in dashboard. So let's click on that. Let's go to this is the default view. At times when you do this, when you click on that, it should give you a way to get automatically update. And you click on that. But this version of Tableau Public is not giving me. Let's click on this view and let's see. Now we can see various version here. So let's click on add desktop layout. Okay, now let's go to fit all. Now you can see that is much better. So we can fit our Tableau there, and let's click on this. So this could easily do. Okay, now let's come back to where we are. This is sheet 1. Let me see this. Leave this. Let's quickly delete that, and let's add another dashboard. This size is too small. Let's click on this arrow. Let's try to maximize this. Let's see. That's the width. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, now we can click and drag. The second one we click and drag. Then the third, let's place it at the top. Okay, let's go on violence by. Let's place the next one here. Let's place this here. Okay, let's go to, let's place it here. This is, okay, let's cancel this. I'm going to place that letter. Now when you're creating a dashboard, don't have too much on your screen. Don't have too much on your screen. So we can easily do this and leave it this way. If we want to add more to the dashboard, we can add more to our dashboard. If you want to add more to the dashboard, you can add more to the dashboard, and you want to remove any and substitute it, you can remove it. Just simply click. When you click, it removes that particular one of the screen. For instance, I want to remove them. Let's assume I want to remove this. This is a gun violence. You will simply click on this to remove it, and let's assume you want to place it with this. Okay, so click on this and reduce it. So this is how to build your dashboard in Tableau. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, just click the thumb up under the video description, and if you want a training on Tableau, if you're into data analysis and you're looking for where you can do your training on Tableau, feel free to contact us on our contact under the video at 150 Agro Palace Way, Kota, Lagos. Thank you for watching. See you.